The children and I reread the letter again, and it seemed to say everything we wanted. My teenage children hugged me. My daughter was the first to look up at me. "Do you think, Dad, she will make the right choice?" she asked thoughtfully. I frowned. "I hope so for all of us." My son looked at us. "It's unlikely," he said sadly. "Well, who knows? Your mother may come to her senses," I said without much conviction. Having said that, we packed our bags and suitcases and headed to our house by the sea. We were going there for the weekend, so now it's just going to be a move. Let's see. The cameras in the house were set up so that you could see everything that was happening. You could watch the broadcast on my phone. 2 hours later, as we were unpacking our things, my phone informed me that there was someone in the house, or rather in the kitchen. The alarm went off and the remote camera came to life. We saw my wife reading a letter alone, and then we saw her fall to the floor. Letter. To my future ex-wife, even though things have been difficult the last year or so due to money and our problems, I'd like to think we had each other's backs. But it seems I was wrong. Our children have been telling me for some time now how you were very distracted. Honestly, I was so busy looking after the kids and fixing all the problems at work that I admit I took my eyes off the ball and had to notice something was wrong. Your family also saw how distracted you were at our last family barbecue. To think everyone kept looking at you, but you ignored us all. You just focused on cooking and your phone. Your father kept asking me what was going on. Honestly, I had no answer. When I tried to talk to you, it was like talking to a brick wall. Your sister spoke to me privately, and she told me about a man at work. A man you seem to be happily hanging out with, much younger and fitter. You don't talk to your children. You don't talk to your parents. Even my parents are worried about you. I know my mother tried to talk to you, but to no avail. Now I am away with my children. I combine a vacation and a business trip. The kids understand what I'm doing. The deal I'm working on is very important for all of us. It guarantees our financial future, which in turn guarantees that we can do whatever we want. That is, fulfill all our promises. However, the children are old enough to understand that this is where our paths may diverge. 25 years ago, you said yes when I asked you to marry me. Since that day, I love you with everything I have. I know sometimes I don't always express myself well, but I want to tell you here and now, my love for you is absolute. However, if you do something stupid and break your vows, cross the line from which there is no turning back, then it's all over between us. So, it is your choice. You remain faithful, and we will discuss everything and find out exactly what you want in our marriage. However, whatever you decide, the only requirement, my mandatory requirement, is fidelity. If you can't agree, it's over between us. I have already completed the documents. Everything is determined by your choice. Do what your heart tells you. I know you have a date planned with your boyfriend. If you sleep with him, then your entire family will be informed of our divorce. And yes, I will tell them why. I will tell everyone we know why we are getting a divorce. Well, now everything is in your hands. I hope you think better of it and send your boyfriend to hell. But like I said, if you sleep with him, you're cheating on all of us and ruining our marriage. Okay, well, it's your choice. Choose wisely. Just so you know, I will track down your boyfriend and tell him in no uncertain terms to fuck off. And if he doesn't, he will regret seducing a married woman. I'm not admitting anything, but he might not be as handsome after I'm done with him. Your husband and children. At first, I was a little taken aback. This shouldn't have happened. Expecting my wife to faint was not part of my plan. I watched it for a few more minutes, and finally the wife moved and sat up. Then she slowly stood up, and I saw tears streaming down her face. She took the letter again and read it again. She seemed to shake herself, then began to shout loudly to herself, "What a creature you are, you damn stupid creature!" She looked around the kitchen and, seeing my wedding ring on the table, screamed in pain. "What have I done? I'm such a fool. I hope it's not too late." She continued to scold herself. Then the doorbell rang. She turned and walked out of the kitchen towards the front door. On the way, passing by our set of carving knives, she took the largest one and headed into the corridor. The camera in the hallway started recording, and I saw my wife open the door, and a young man, probably in his 20s, stagger through the door. He regained his balance and opened at his arms. "BB, now I'm here. Where is your hubby?" My wife walked up to him and put a knife to his throat. "You have no idea what you've done. You've ruined my marriage, and it looks like most of my family will disown me." I was very stupid. I fell for your pressure. I almost believed that I had the right to sleep with you. I'm such a fool. I bet everyone at work is cracking up laughing. There was an expression of horror on his face. He came to sleep with her, but now he is face to face with an angry devil. Thank you, Lord, that I just kissed you. When my husband talks to me again as a husband or ex-husband, I will tell him how you tried to convince me that I need to cheat on him. I'll tell him it took you a year to finally convince me to sleep with you, even just once. He stepped forward, trying to push her away, but instead, my wife plunged the blade even deeper into his throat, and I saw a trickle of blood running down the blade. "You're an asshole. I have nothing to lose now. My life is over, so cutting your throat will be very nice. When you bleed, I will castrate you so you can go to hell as a eunuch. Now move away slowly, open the door and leave, and never come near me at work or anywhere else." He stepped back slowly, opened the door with a trembling hand, turned, and almost ran down the driveway. I saw the door slam, and then my wife leaned against the door. Tears streamed down my face. Then she stood up abruptly and seemed to notice that she was wearing an evening dress that I had not bought for her. She cut the dress with a knife, leaving herself in the lacy black lingerie that I bought for her. She ran upstairs, and the camera in the bedroom turned on. She went to my closet and picked out the shirt she bought for me, put it on, then went to her closet and put on some old jeans. Then she started calling. My phone rang and, of course, it was my wife. "Yes, Carol, how can I help?" I said without any emotion. "Gary, I know you saw him in the house. I know you saw me almost kill him. And Gary, God knows, I would gladly cut his throat." There was a manic note in her voice. "Carol, listen to me carefully. Our children do not want their mother to be in prison, and they also do not want me to be in prison. Now I see that you are not thinking well, so I will tell you what to do. You will contact all of our families, and you will apologize to them for being a bitch for a whole year." "Gary, yes, of course I will, Gary. I'm sorry, I'm such an idiot. You know I didn't have sex with him, you know? If I thought for even a moment that you actually had sex with him, we wouldn't be having this conversation," I said in a tense voice. "Now do as I say, contact everyone we know and apologize to them and tell them exactly why we're not together. I want everyone to know how stupid you are." "Yes, Gary, I will do everything as you said. Gary, just to let you know that I truly love you, and if you want a divorce, then I won't fight it. It's the least I can do, but please don't cut me out of your life." She hung up the call and then called her family, then my family, then her work colleagues, then our friends. My phone went crazy. 20 messages from friends and family, texts from my wife's work colleagues and various people that I had no idea who they were. But the gist of these messages was what an idiot my wife was and how she could do this act. My wife looked completely broken. It seemed like every person she talked to was hitting her over the head. Finally, she just lay down and I saw that she was motionless. I zoomed in and could see her chest rise and fall. I sent a message to her phone. "Don't die. Take care of yourself. When you rest, pack your bag and come here. We need to talk." At the same time, I wrote a message to a friend from Eastern Europe. He was a little rough, but very loyal, and he had friends in the dark parts of society. The message said, "Yes, make him disappear." After he read the message, I deleted the message and all traces of it from my phone. Only my friend and I knew that I sent the message. The meaning of the text is quite clear. Carol arrived 3 hours later. She looked tired and sad, but otherwise fine. When she got out of the car, the children ran up to her and hugged her. "Mom, thank you for finally choosing us. We all missed you, even Dad. But he doesn't admit it," said Alice, our daughter, looking at me. Our son Martin hesitated for a moment and then looked at me. I nodded. He walked up to his mother and awkwardly hugged her, then stepped back. Mom, it's good that you're here. I must admit, we didn't expect you to threaten your boyfriend, he said with a smile. Carol didn't know what to say. She looked at me and opened her arms. I hesitated for a moment and saw the pain on her face. Dad, you won't get an STD from hugging, Alice said with a smile. Of course, she was right. I stepped forward and hugged my wife, perhaps for the last time, and she clung to me and repeated, "I'm so sorry. Forgive me," over and over again. In the end, we let each other go. Martin picked up Carol's suitcase. He turned to me. Dad, which room? To the spare room. I'm sorry, Carol. I can't be with you at the moment knowing that you were with that asshole, I said, trying to be calm. Gary, I know you don't trust me, but I've never had sex with him, she said sincerely. I want to believe you, but it's been a year since you've been with me. Mentally, you've left all of us, our friends and families behind. So, until you show me a health certificate, you're sleeping in the spare room. Just so you know, you can't just come back into our lives just because you threatened your boyfriend. I need more proof from you that you are the woman I married. Gary, I'm so sorry. Is there really no hope for us? Tears were streaming down her face. At the moment, we have very little chance, sorry, Carol, but it all depends on you. I turned and headed into the house, and then went into the office and closed the door. He closed his eyes and tried to organize his thoughts. One of the main problems was the lack of information, but tonight I will find out everything. This will allow me to choose one path or another. I woke up to the smell of bacon, eggs, and fried bread. I stood up and stretched. I checked my phone. There were many messages and voicemails. Most of them approved of my actions, but one or two urged me to forgive my wife. Then I saw a series of messages from an unknown number. The messages were clear. No sex with your wife. They only had kisses. I only touched my outerwear. Sometimes I touched my bra. No love, just wanted to fuck her. He slept with other married women and enjoyed it. Your wife was the only one he didn't sleep with. She kept refusing. That idiot will never have a woman again. His tool is gone. It started 6 months ago, and before that, who knows? Ask your wife. My advice? If you still love her, then stay with her. Just my advice. I'll look after her for 6 months and then stop. Good luck. I read the messages carefully and replied, Thanks, good job. With the phone in my pocket, I went into the kitchen. My wife and children looked at me. Carol, we need to talk. This is long overdue. I should have sat you down and yelled at you a year ago. But it's easy to say now, isn't it? Hope and fear were reflected on her face through her tears. Carol, I'm giving you a free get-out-of-jail card, but you have to earn it. You will be the best daughter to your parents. You will be the best daughter-in-law to my parents. You will be the best friend to our mutual friends, and you will be diligent at work. And last but most important, you will be the best mother for our children. You will be the one who takes them to soccer practice. You will take them to parties and support them in difficult situations. Basically, you'll make up for all the crap we've been through over the past year because of your emotional affair with that asshole. By the way, don't worry about him. He's not your concern anymore. Carol looked shocked for a moment. Gary, I don't know what to say. I really was a fool. I followed bad advice and was lied to. I'm also obviously very gullible. But if you give me a chance, I'll prove to you and everyone else that I'm not hopeless. She stood up, hugged me, and then stepped back. I love you, Gary. I always have and will always love you. And I will prove my love to you until the day I die. Martin coughed. Dad, take Mom upstairs and show her who's boss. My girlfriend likes it when I take control. He laughed as he said this. I grabbed my wife's hand and pulled her upstairs. I was in control and really showed her who was boss. However, I put on a condom. Yes, we had sex for several hours. By the end, she was exhausted, but she had the biggest smile I've seen in years. 2 weeks have passed, and Carol continues to show everyone. My family, her work colleagues, our children, and especially me, that she is worthy of forgiveness. Well, what about me? Basically, I make romantic love to her every night and almost every morning before I leave for work. We go to restaurants and bars. She dresses well but never acts cheeky. She rejects any male attention. Her phone is always on. Her tracker is always on. She tells me where she is going, even if she is with her family or mutual friends. We meet as a couple or families. She never goes out alone. It's her choice, not mine. She gives herself to me the way I like. However, I am not cruel and only have sex with her if she wants and participates. Oh, and the doctor who tested her for STDs actually asked about her sex life and other lovers. I was there when she grabbed my hand and said, "This is my husband and my lover. No one else will ever compare to this man. He is my life." I almost threw him away, and now until I die of old age, all of me belongs to him and only to him. The doctor just grinned and shook my hand. Yes, we did make love that night without a condom. It's much more enjoyable. Oh, and yes, Carol's potential boyfriend disappeared without anyone actually looking for him. Apparently, several husbands divorced their wives because of him. And, well, the police weren't too hard on it since one of the injured husbands was an active police officer. Did he die a slow, painful death? No, he is not dead. He is disfigured and weak-willed. He is avoided wherever he goes. His life is a living hell. Do I trust Carol? Hell no. Do I love her? Yes. Will she compensate me for being a creature for a year? Yes. Now life in our house is never boring. Our children are growing up quickly and they have their own partners, but they still hang out with us. So justice finally prevailed. Please like and subscribe to the channel and you will never be cheated on.